Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Michael, and I'm exploring all the different ways that stationery can bring me joy. Today, I'm going to get a little crafty to try to create an accessory for my traveler's notebook. This is my traveler's notebook. It's in the olive color. It's already gotten very dinged up. I'm just accepting it as someone who likes things to be like neat and perfect. I'm trying to accept that this beat up look is part of the aesthetic of this notebook. But one thing that is kind of bothering me, and I know that I probably need to loosen the string a little bit, but I just know that even after I do that over time, the tightening of the string over this part of the notebook is causing it to dent. And so I do think I need to loosen the string a little bit. I mean, I don't want to loosen it too much so it doesn't have, appropriate tightness to keep it closed really well. But I also want to kind of create some sort of protective edge. Now, I know that you can buy metal that gets crimped into the edge of the leather to kind of create a metal barrier. I thought about that, but then I also saw that there are like leather bands that you can buy that go along the edge, and that will put the band on that leather, or the string, say, on that piece of leather, so it's not digging into the leather of the notebook. Recently, I was at a Blick art supply store here in New York, and I had a coupon and for I think like 40% off my purchase, and I noticed as I was looking for some other items that they had some leather working materials on sale, and I thought, well, on sale plus with my discount coupon, made sure that they stacked, made it pretty affordable, so I went with it, and I picked up this leather cord, this strip of leather. Now, it did say brown, and my notebook is olive, but I think that they're close enough that it doesn't look horrific next to one another. Yeah, I can live with that. And so I figured I could take a strip of this, maybe from here to about here, and lace the string through it so that I'll have that protective band. But to do that, I need something to punch a hole in this, and this was also on sale. And this is the leather punch, and it can do up to, from 2 millimeters to 4.8 millimeter holes in a piece of leather. And I figure with the discount, and it already being on sale, it was like less than $10 to get this. And I thought, okay, that's worth it to try this out. And I have a feeling that if this works out well, I might be able to make some of these for some other people who have traveler's notebooks that I know. And then, I'm sure I can find uses for this in like belts and other things. I do sew. I don't work with leather all that often, but who knows? Maybe I'll get on the kick of creating my own leather notebook, like I've seen some people doing, making their own Paper Republic or Louise Carmen notebooks. Maybe I'll get adventurous, but it seems pretty worth it to be that cheap for me to try this out. So without further ado, I'm going to bring you along on making this strip, and we'll see how it turns out. So I'm gonna just take this off for now, and I need to figure out how I'm gonna yank this out. I don't know if I can just pull because it's leather, if it's going to, yep. Just take that right out of the cardboard. This seems like the kind of thing I would need pliers for. Oh, well, that broke, so that's gonna make this pretty easy. Okay, the staple is out. Let's unravel all of this leather. Oh, another staple. Oh, not on my notebook. I have these older scissors that definitely need to be sharpened, tightened. I mostly have them just because they're very vintage looking, but I think I can use that to pop these staples up. And I was correct. Although I don't think that those staples should break as easily as they do, but you know, maybe that's why they were on sale. All right, so I have this strip of leather, and I'm going to want this to sit on my notebook, create a barrier, maybe from here to here, so like where it naturally folded. And I think that works. So that's about 2.5 inches of leather. I am noticing that where it was folded around that the card, the leather has cracked a little. And maybe I want to just incorporate that fold, that natural fold that's already been created, into this fold. And I think that that's probably correct, because if I do this middle part, the edges are going to be a little frayed. So maybe just incorporating the fold that already exists might make more sense. So to do that, just gonna take the first one past the staple. Let's see, that's about, just gonna move this out of the way for right now. So if I'm incorporating this fold into the center, and then I want 1 inch on each side. That puts me, and I don't even know how to necessarily mark leather, but I'm just going to use this mechanical pencil, but without the lead coming out, so just the metal tip, and maybe I can score it that way. So I'm going to need to cut about here, and about here. Fortunately, I don't have any fancy leather cutting tools, so I'm going to just see how these scissors work. Fingers crossed, everybody with me. Okay, well, 1 and 2. Okay, let's get these leather bits over here. Okay, now the question is, let me get this excess out of the way. And then this has the staple holes in it, so this is kind of like scrap. Maybe I can test punching a hole into the leather with this strip. Now the question is, do I want to keep this straight or curved? And if I'm going to curve the edges, how do I do that well? I mean, I have like a paper curving tool, but I don't know if that's going to work. I don't think it is. Too thick. Good attempt. I might have to freehand that. Well, no time like the present. These scissors are actually working pretty well. You know, not perfect, but not bad. And now I just need to do it on this end as well. I'm gonna try and get closer to show my amazing technique. So, moving this little leather scraps and dust over. That gives us a strip with some curved edges. Not perfect, but also pretty decent. Now, to the hole punch. Oh, and just, I know I showed it on screen, but just so that we're clear, the brand here is like Real Leather Crafts, and this was Real Leather Craft lace, and it's a company, Silver Creek Leather Co., who makes this material. So just in case you don't have a Blick, maybe your local art store carries it, or something similar. So I think that I probably would want the smallest setting on here. Okay, so I'm noticing there's like a lock. I unlock it, I can press more. And to turn this, it seems like this needs to be moved, but it's held in place by a screw, so I'm wondering if I need to unscrew it for it to work properly. And I think the answer is yes, so I just need to go grab a screwdriver really quick. All right, back. Screwdriver. Okay, taking this so that it is now more loose. I feel like now that I can turn this, I'm going to want the smallest setting. And I'm going to screw this back in place to kind of hold the smallest setting in. There's like a groove that this popped into when I was turning it, because I think you want the punch mechanism to touch this metal plate. Okay, so let's practice on this piece of leather. I'm gonna put it and I'm gonna punch. Oh yeah, it's got a little piece of leather up in the mechanism where it punched it out. And now let's see the hole. We need to kind of push So again, I'm going to use this mechanical pencil without putting the lead through. And there is our hole. And I do think that this smallest hole is a little too small. If I think about this string running through it, this does seem kind of too thin. So let's try one size up. So I'm going to unscrew, let this kind of click into place right here, screw this in, it's touching the metal plate, and let's try this out. Definitely has a satisfying crunch to it. Using the pencil to kind of push through, yank out the gunk. I'm gonna go to the tool. And in here, you can see like there's some leather residue. Gonna pull that out. Oh man. All right. And this hole definitely seems more appropriately sized for the string. This one, far too tiny. Also, hold on, let me see if I have a paper clip that I can bend. Because this pencil really isn't reaching as far as it should be. So yeah, you can see this second hole is bigger than that first one. It definitely can fit the string for the traveler's notebook better. So the question is, can I center these holes? And I'm gonna try my best. Going to use the mechanical pencil to just kind of mark where it's going to go. I'm doing the very precise work of eyeballing this. You know, I'm very finicky about some things, and then other things I just decide, yeah, this will work out. So let's see if I'm correct. So again, I'm on the second setting, which is a 2.5 millimeter hole. I have it locked in place. I'm going to go here and punch. I'm going to go here, line it up with the mark I made, and punch. And let's use this paper clip to pull out and then same with this side, push it through. Now, once it's pushed through, there are these little bits that are still kind of attached that didn't cleanly pull away, and I don't have the fingernails to like pull that. So I'm going to try and use my X-Acto knife to kind of shave off that little bit. There we go. And on this side, pretty successful attempt. I have my strip, I have my 2 holes. Let's put this onto the band. So I'm just going to clean up really quick and be right back. All right, so now we've cleaned up, we've got the notebook. Just going to quickly untie this from the back here. Let me just grab it. All right. Band is untied. Taking off the charms. Now the string we want to rest over the leather, so I'm going to put it over, thread it through. Over, thread it through. And so now it's going to look like that when it's on the notebook. I'm going to want the charms to be on this side. So I'm going to put my like this, and I want the charms to be on this side, so I'm going to slide this on and through this one as well. Whoa. Definitely need to give some more room. And these are both going to go in like that. So, taking off, putting through. One and the other. lightly tie a knot here just to see if that is a good amount of stretch. And that actually seems pretty great. So I am going to just tighten this knot. And to adjust this to make sure it's exactly the way I want. And et voila! I now have my standard traveler's notebook with a leather band protecting the edge of the notebook. And I gotta say, for being homemade, don't think it's too shabby. Well, that's that. Thank you for joining me on this little adventure. I hope that you had a great time watching me struggle with some leather crafts. I hope this inspires you to maybe take a hands-on approach to the things that you need for your stationery habit. And I look forward to hearing in the comments, how do you customize your traveler's notebooks? Do you have a leather band? Do you use the metal? I see people putting on patches and the little index things. Like, what's your experience with that? Let me know. I'd like to hear all about it, and maybe I'll get inspired to do some more things to this notebook. Until next time, thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of the day, whether it's a long day ahead of you or it's the evening and this is the last thing you're doing. However much time you have before you go to bed, I hope it's wonderful, and I hope that you keep exploring the possibilities that a blank page brings. And I'll catch you next time.